I'd like to call to order on the start of our January 28th, 2025 meeting. Members present: Ray Baird, James McNamara, Diane Magliosi, Joe Casasano. Our administrator, Patty Hazel, is not feeling well. She will not be here today. And we have our investment consultant, Stan Starr. And Stan, as always, you're on.
Sir, thank you. I'm going to go in the proper order this evening, for a change, you might say, but no. The first item on here is my usual summary, unofficial at that, but now we did get the paperwork in yesterday, so it's as up to date as one can get. The month of December wasn't very kindly received in here. It was a negative 1.5% for the month, which puts us right on the 9% number. So we've met our target for the year and continue to have done that since we've been working with Prim going back to 2008, I believe it was. So that's a good thing. You can see the lineup of private equities. It's basically an extra overweight of 5% in private equities on top of the nearly 17% that's in the capital fund, which is sometimes called the general allocation fund, which is sometimes called the core fund. I don't know what's the right one, but all three of them have been referenced at one point in time. So anyways, but that's the lineup in terms of private equities. Pretty soon you'll see the 2025 vintage year, which I believe the board voted on 600,000. Is that my memory serving it?
Yes. Yep.
So that'll be acted on too, beginning next month, reporting on. We maintain the 4% cash. Again, I'll repeat what I had mentioned the last couple of meetings, how well we've done on a total calendar year basis. The town net investment income for the year 2023 was $33,000. For the year ending 2024, it was $105,000. And primarily because of the change that the board voted on to move out of the local involvement, that was paying less than 1/8 of 1%, and going into the PRIT fund, cash reserve fund, it was paying anywhere between 4 and 4.5% last year. So that was a wise move. It was a good move, very good move. And it was $77,000 good move. 3 times the amount that we were getting the prior year. That's substantial. And that's up to you folks too for taking a bow if you want, for authorizing the same. So that was a good thing. Very happy with that one. Any questions specifically to the December summary of myself?
Nope.
Okay. The positive news, I think at least through the month when I left the office about an hour ago for January, I'm coming up with an approximation of a positive 1.8% for the month to date, which will, if it holds the next couple of days, will hopefully erase that December 1.5 negative. So we're hopefully off to a good start. Things are a little bit more quiet than they were prior to the election, was creating a lot of havoc. There may even be a settlement on a couple of wars here and there. Just a lot of stuff happening, inflation, on and on, you name it. No one knows, but they all contribute that amount in terms of their input. It appears nowadays the monthly withdrawals for out of the fund that we manage through you folks' involvement here is roughly between $450,000 and $500,000 per month is going out the door, primarily for retirees' benefits as well as other board expenses. But just so you know, there's a lot of cash coming in and out. And I'll give kudos to Patty. She does a lot of work trying to keep as much money, earning as much as we can within the cash reserves. It's constantly changing. Money's in, money's out, different amounts, etc. So it's a pleasure working with Patty. She's very, very good in what she does. She's very diligent. And she didn't tell me to say that either. No, that's it. So I turn next to the Exhibit 1A, which is the performance by asset classes. I ended up getting the green and gold colors when I copied it for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know how you got that, but that's okay.
Something's going wrong.
They like you.
And on this one here, what I try to give the board information on, for the month, the best performing fund was Timberlands at 1.8%. The worst performing one was global fixed income because of interest rates going back up. That was a negative almost 3% for the month. Turning to the year, the best performance was the global equity. Global equity, as a reminder, contains both domestic, international, and emerging markets, all three of them. They used to be kept separate. A couple of years ago, they decided to combine them into global equity rather than individually looking at each three of those entities. Real estate was the worst performing with a negative 3.1. Again, an interest rate sensitive reaction to that one. For 3 years, the best performing function in here, let me put my glasses on here, was Timberlands at 7.3%. The negative was the global fixed income, as I mentioned. 5 years, the best performance, and 10 years goes to the private equity, which is why we have been beating the average for that for a number of years since we got into private equity. At 17% on 5 years and 16.6 for 10 years, performance-wise. The worst performing one, same time frame, global fixed income, -1, -1. And since inception, which would have been April of 2018, which is our first involvement with the PRIT fund, or the core fund, or the general allocation fund, or the capital fund, and it was 14.8%. Let's see, our target is 7%. I think the board obviously knows that. We've hit it on every time frame. The 3-year period is one I kind of highlighted, only because it was only up 2.4%. But 3 years contained the year 2022, where the Standard & Poor's, the stock index fell 19%, and the fixed income fell also double digits, 10%. That's not supposed to happen, but it did. So that's what skews that 3-year number of being 2.4. But in spite of that, we still have managed to meet the target and continue to do that for the last 18 years with the PRIT involvement. Any questions relative to that report, the fund performance summary? No, there being none. And again, a reminder, we just signed up for another $600,000 for the 13th exposure to vintage. And that really equates to just 0.6% in terms of the overall $82 million valuation of the portfolio. I next have 1C, as in Charlie. And the cash fund is shown in this one. It's a second line item for cash fund. And again, I put myself a note on here to remember that we were earning 0.0015 in 2023. We earned somewhere between 4 and 4.5%. It varies. The rate varies, but we did very well, 3 times as much as a result of that. In terms of the 5-year and 10-year, the longest dates on here they have to show for performance, the town of Clinton versus the general allocation fund. For 5 years, it's a 25 basis points difference. We're at 788, whereas the general allocation fund is 7.63. Do you see that number, everybody, hopefully? It's in the top right. That's a 25 basis points difference to the town's advantage. 25 basis points times roughly $65 million in the portfolio is $160,000 difference. That's the difference for having the overweight what we've had for those past 5 years. Taking one more step to the right, on the 10-year one, there's a difference of 15 basis points, a little bit less, but 15 basis points, roughly 1/7, 1/6%, that's $65 million, is just shy of $100,000. So it's worked out well, and hopefully we'll continue that process. Is there any questions relative to the town's performance versus the other averages? Does anyone have? Diane, you okay?
Good.
Moving right along, Mr. Chairman, I'm at 1D. This is working out well.
It is.
Yeah, anyways, the transfer date is February 3rd, and the $17,252 is money in excess for what they received as opposed to what they paid out for the month beginning in February, and here we're going to be paying that. So that goes into prim cash. That's $17,252 finds its way into the current cash balance. Looking at page 3, which is a year-to-date, actually an inception-to-date activity. It's the last page. The adjusted commitment, we'll go back to the first column, the targeted commitment. We had asked for $5,850,000 worth as of last year, 2024. They gave us adjusted commitment. They give us approximately what we asked time, sometimes a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more. It comes down to $4,854,000 currently. That's still in process, particularly with the last couple of product ones. We're still about $600,000 to be funded along the way here. We have paid as a town 69% of the drawn capital of 3.350. So we've put in almost 70% of what we have drawn so far. That's money already paid, not money that's due, which is important. The distributions from inception to date is $1,811,000, which is 54% of the drawn capital to date. So even though we fund this revolving it, we're getting enough in since we've been around now for 10, 12 years to get enough back to help pay for any new purchases. So, and the life expectancy, which is probably getting to happen on the vintage, the first year we had was 2012. And they take typically around 15 years of total commitment. So we may be a couple, 3 years away from that going full circle. I believe when I looked at it last in here, it was down to $100,000 left on it. So it's beginning to find its way down for retirement. Any questions on the inception to date for private equity? Again, it represents an overweight of 5% on top of the roughly 17% that's part of the capital fund or PRIT fund. Are there any questions per se? I'm not used to not getting questions.
Sorry,
That's
you're doing
okay.
it, yeah.
I know
As
it's
you
so
said,
thorough,
it's
didn't need
working
any
out good. The
questions.
Very
new,
concise.
new layout that we have. A, B, C, D, instead of shuffling papers all over.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate, sorry, in the past, I really hadn't thought about it till the last one, and this is a better way of doing it. It's in order with what you have, and it's more understandable. It gives me a chance to make notes on it as well, to share with the board too. So I think we're in good shape. We've met our obligations as a board on the 7% consistently. We're having a good month of January. Let's hope the year pans out enough that we can continue to get our targeted 7%. And short of that, Mr. Chairman, I don't have anything else to add.
Now, you have anything we should be doing right now, or just saying, Pat? Should we be doing anything with the money we have?
No,
invested?
I'm not making any recommendations yet. It may be an opportunity coming up if this does go down some more, but I'd rather keep it in the safety of where it is now, the diversity. But no recommendations for any purchases. The board may have different ideas, but that's my take on it.
I don't know if anybody does or not, but
Again, when I look back and I see $3 million, what I end up seeing is 5 months' worth of payouts. So, but it doesn't mean we can't use some of that if need be, but it goes quick. It goes quick. It usually lasts until March or April, typically. Then we run out of money, and we have to start selling some products to get there. So I don't want to do a short-term one where the market's still high, relatively speaking.
okay.
It's still about 20-25% historically higher than it has been for the S&P 500, which is the largest position we have and is in the portfolio.
Does anybody have any questions for Stan?
Great. Thank you, Stan.
Thank you very much.
Okay, well, thank you,
Thanks,
folks.
I'm gonna move back over here again. That sun's falling.
Healthy year for everybody.
I missed you, Joe. All right, thanks,
go.
Dan. And we'll see you, you want to come up with a meeting date? We usually do it the last Tuesday of the month. I don't know if that's good with everybody still. We can
Okay.
always change it.
I'll check in with Patty, make sure. If otherwise, it'll be the last Tuesday at 3.
But before you leave, anybody have any other thoughts about changing our meeting date? We can, but we don't have to right now. Okay, Stan, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Next item is monthly report, cash reconciliation from the treasurer. And we have a new treasurer right now, so we're gonna have to put it off, we're gonna put it off until next month. Okay, is everybody aware of
Motion
that?
to table that?
So we'll just table that until next month, and hopefully we'll have 2 next month.
Okay.
Everybody all set with that? Yes. Okay, 1F, monthly accounting packet. Everybody get a chance to check it on online? Just acknowledge it then, so we can just have it in our
Yeah, so
minutes?
acknowledged.
Was acknowledged, everybody all set with that? Next one, we have the draft budget. So anybody, my thoughts are on it, if we want to scan it fast, but it's really, we just got this a short time ago, so I don't know if we want to scan it and take it up next month? Would that be okay with everybody else? Anybody have any questions, or
No, make a motion to table it till next month when Patty's here as well.
everybody all set with that? We'll just table that until next month, okay? Draft budget, okay, next thing is draft minutes. Anybody want to make a motion to,
Motion to accept the minutes is written.
Second.
motion was made, seconded, does anybody have anything to input on that, or? Another nice job by Patty, so I made a motion, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, So-
I'm saying, because I wasn't there.
okay, yes. Okay. Next one is a regular, they're posted, there's a posting of the meeting, and that's, we have to do that every month, as everybody knows. Next thing is the warrant. Do I hear a motion from anyone to,
I'll make the motion to accept the warrant
Second.
for
Yeah.
$4,460,767.08.
8 cents? Anybody have any questions on it? I see something in here from Saco, and I'm not sure what that is for, but I didn't get a chance to ask Patty, but it's only $303, so.
I think that's the teacher.
Okay, yeah, okay. So motion made second, any other questions, all in favor? All right, next thing we're into is, there's nothing on 5 or 6, how about retirements? Anybody on,
Jim, you want to make that one?
Take a motion that we accept the retirement of Detective Carl Schmidt, Clinton Police Department.
Second.
motion was seconded, anybody have any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Next one for retirement. We have, if it wasn't Carl Schmidt, it's
Laura Robinson.
Laura Robinson.
I'll make the motion on that.
I'll second it.
Laura Robinson, anything, anybody have anything? She was off the payroll this since for a while. Any other discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're going to go to new enrollment.
Motion to accept Deborah J. Noel Weatherby to the Outreach Program Resource Coordinator at the Senior Center.
Second it.
Motion made, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. 8A,
Motion to accept Megan Porter
Porter.
Forte, I don't know.
as dispatch, starting 1/19/25.
Second.
And I have a note on here from Patty that, I don't know if we have to hold that because of the note that Patty, does Patty have that note on the bottom here on the right-hand side? There was something about there, she,
It's the office part?
Sari called and wasn't quite sure, no record of her being a member over there.
Oh, is she in Auburn?
Auburn, yes, so I don't know. I mean, we'll approve it. if-
Well, I'd amend the motion to, after Patty confirms it.
Maybe we should,
Looks like-
we say you're gonna bring that up next month?
Yeah, I'll amend the motion to table it till next month.
Yeah.
Okay.
The note says that she might be on OBRA, so that's the deferred comp. She probably was on.
I don't know if there's any need to do that.
I wouldn't think so.
You
Yeah, I
wouldn't think
we
so?
can accept her, but
We're not accepting,
oh, I don't,
we're not accepting her service or anything.
Okay,
yeah,
that's
it's making
okay.
a service.
Her a new member.
Okay, and I stand corrected, maybe we should just go ahead and then,
In that case, I'll amend it back to my
sorry,
original motion.
sorry. So motion made,
I'll
any,
make a
she
motion.
made a motion, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Otherwise, she gets a bigger deduction, second one.
Okay. All right, next, on 8B,
Motion to accept Matthew Chappelle as full-time dispatcher starting 1/19/25.
Second.
motion made, second discussion. There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, now we're going to number 9, which is, HERAC, mandatory retirement board member training. So we have all that in front of us, and We all know that we have to do so many hours of training, so this is more for our information only, but you just acknowledge getting that, okay? And thank you, Patty. 9A, medical testing fee. I think it's been $100, and I still think it's $100. There's ways of getting extra money if they need it, but that's really, we'd have to go through Boston to do that, so that's just informational also. Okay? So that's for our information. Medical testing fee, that was 9B. Let's see what we got for 9B here. Interest, they're talking about the regular interest for regular and additional deductions made after January 1st, 1984. And they do that once a year, and they're saying a big 0.1%. So that's for our information only. All right. 9C. 9C is repeal to the Social Security windfall. So that's pretty interesting to a lot of people. And it says that SSA will need time to implement the changes. So any information that Patty needs to send out, I'm sure she's on top of that, but
I think a lot of people word of mouth and know about it.
But I think Patty, I don't know if, I'd like to ask Patty, I want to make sure everybody gets a copy of what's going on here, and this is a big issue for everyone, so. I'd like to just have the minutes show them, doubly sure that everybody sent out information that goes along with this. Any other comments on this? Okay. 9D. 9D is required minimum distribution. And this has to do with, let's see, 9D, what did I write down for notes here? No affection members based upon date of birth. So this has to do with minimum distribution, still age 73 for this year. So this is information that Patty has to be taken care of also. So this is just for our information. Okay. 9E. Talking about, this has to do with certain salaries, and we don't have anybody that makes that salary that's in question, so really that's just informational for us. Anybody have anything on that? It's more informational, but if we want to have anything in the minutes, we should. I think it's just informational. 9F is also informational, still has to do with the salaries, and we don't have anybody that reaches that salary for town employees, so. Anything anybody else wants to add to that? Just for our information, Patty has that. The COLA, Patty says it will take, that's going to be on the agenda for our next meeting. They come up, as you can see, the 2.3 is a COLA, but we have the right to go to 3%. We just have to vote on it and send out wherever we vote on. Everybody else set on this? So next month we'll be taking care of that. 9H. Buyback and makeup repayment worksheets. And that's an administrative, Patty and Mary will be taking care of that. It's for our information only. Anybody have anything on that? All right, next one is I, HI, and Patty will also be taking care of that. And that's for actuarial studies performed by every 2 years by PERAC. We'll update data to Prosper when requested by PERA. Anybody, so that's out of our hands also. Patty and Mary will be taking care of that. It shows we do miss Patty at this meeting. Number 10. And this is another thing that Patty will be taking care of, that we have to open records, we have to submit information.
Actually, already taken care of.
That's already been taken care of, but that's, and it has to do with anybody who is paid monthly pension. So Patty's taking care of that, and Mary's taking care of it down there, also. And 11, old business, new business, now open item, board education update. Term dates, reorganization, table for discussion next month. So every year we're supposed to open it up and see if we reorganize. Anybody have anything else that wants to come before this board? No one else? No one else? Did we pick a date? I know we did already, but it's the
Yep.
last Tuesday of the month.
Last Tuesday of the month.
Okay, and remember again, if someone comes up with something, let us know, we can totally shift one day or the other. So there's a motion made,
Motion to.
second,
Second.
no discussion in favor. Thank you
Aye.
very much.
Thank you.